Hey friends, welcome back to Crusty Cranks TV, where we paint baits and make lures. All right, I got a little project today. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but my wife is a paranormal romance author, so she writes vampire romance. So if your wives or girlfriends are into that thing, yeah, she does really good. She's got a big following, New York Times bestseller 2 times. So I'll put the link into the description. If your wives or girlfriends are interested in checking that out, you can go check her out. But she tasked me with creating a giveaway for Halloween. And she wanted a vampire with blood dripping off his teeth. So here's what we're going to do. I already got my stencils cut. You seen in the beginning, I ran that little Cricut thing cutting out my stencils. So I got 4 lures here. I'm going to try at least two different ways to do it to see how it turns out. My first plan was to put the inside of the stencil. So here's the teeth. My first plan was to put the inside of the stencil on the lure itself and spray the black over, and then peel that off and leave the teeth white. And then I'm going to come back with the little blood drips, and they're tiny, they're small, so I'm hoping they'll turn out okay. So then I'm going to come back and put the little blood drips on the teeth, and I'll probably have to spray them pretty good on top of black. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. On the other one, I'm going to use the stencil, and I'm going to spray the whole lure black. I'm thinking I'm going to use some sisal wrap on it, on one of them at least. But yeah, you'll see me do all that. So the colors I'm using, I've already got my lures covered with titanium white, as I usually do. I'm going to spray a little pearl white on these guys. This one's, I believe, has already got some pearl white on it. My fear with this one is that the stencil is going to come up and it's going to get a little, it's not going to be as sharp as I want it to be once I start spraying all that black on there. But I'm going to spray it light and slow, dry it. So I'll give you a fast video for sure on the process. I won't make you watch me do all of them, but we'll see how they turn out. And yeah, so that's our plan. Vampire baits, and let's get started. For the colors, again, I'm using pearl white. I'm going to use opaque black. I might use some pearl black on one of them just to see the difference. And then for my color, my red color, I'm using wicked crimson. Now I do have some candy blood red, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that, because I'm afraid it's so thin that it's not going to cover that black good enough, and it's going to leak down in behind my stencil. So I'm going to stick with the crimson. I don't know. I might dry it and then hit it just a little bit. We'll see how the crimson looks. I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out. I haven't done this before, so if it fails, you guys will see it fail. But let's get started. All right, so I'm going to put some pearl white into my gun. And I got all new needles. I went and purchased all new needles for all my guns, because they've been dropped and banged and bent and filed down and all that good stuff. So got another airbrush. I got 5 airbrushes now, so I can load up colors and make things a little quicker. Just only that when I'm doing multiple baits, it's sometimes easier to not have to clean my brushes out so often. And I'm not going heavy on these, because normally I will let them dry 24 hours before I put any kind of stencils on them. So that's a tip for you if you're using the Cricut stencils or any kind of sticky back stencils. It's always good to put your base coats down first and then come back and let them dry for 24 hours. That way there's less chance of things peeling off on you. So let's wipe that one. We're going to hit all these a little bit just to make sure. Let me get these bottles out of the way. But yeah, she asked me, and I thought, well, let's give it a try. And I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I thought, well, heck, I'll go ahead and film the video. If it turns out good, it turns out good. If it fails, it fails. You guys will see it. So Alright, so the new airbrush I got is the Master. It's a Master. It's the G, I want to say 44, 34 or 44. I'm not real sure. It's the one that's got the open thing so you can pull out the needle without, and clear it out without having to take it all apart. I know a lot of people, you know, I mean, I've got the Iwata HPCS as well, and I use that too. I really like that for really fine detail and stuff. And I like these Master. I don't know. I think they're good brushes. I mean, if you keep them clean and have the right needles in them. I mean, I bought this brush, and it came with a 0.2, a 0.3, and a 0.5 needle. So I ended up changing the needles in my other Masters. And then I bought a new needle for my Iwata, because the last time I used it, it fell out of the holder, and yeah, because I didn't have the cover on there, it whacked it pretty good. But sometimes I'll sharpen them on a stone a little bit just to take that tip off, but that one I've done it a few times, so yeah, it was time for a new needle. That was the original needle, and I've been using it for about almost 2 years now, I think. So I mean, you know, the needles are cheap enough that it's easy enough just to buy a new needle. I mean, like I said, I was going to buy 3 needles anyway, and you can get the set on Amazon. One time I got a real nice set of needles for 10 bucks. It was like 10 something. And I went back to reorder it, and it wasn't available. So I ordered another brand once before, and yeah, they weren't the right size needles. They were just different. So they didn't work out very good. So anyway, got the pearl white on there. I'm going to dry it, rinse this brush out. I'll bring you guys right back. Okay, guys, I decided I was gonna go black, and then I decided to go with a little bit of this detail Black Magenta. Gives it a little bit of that red hue, and I'm gonna come back on more black on that and leave the belly with a little bit of that red detail Black Magenta on it. So we get kind of a blend, and hopefully my red will show up a little better on that. I like that color. That's a good color for if you're blending blacks. You want to blend the black into another color, but not have all black on the bottom. the detail Black Magenta looks really cool. You'll see that. Let's see. So I got these two. I got them wrapped up. Let's go ahead and put a little bit on the bottom of that one. On these two. Just on the bottom. Just enough to get that little bit of a texture in there. And I'm using a bigger brush, bigger bowl, just because I knew I had to put more black, a lot of black in it. And I kept my other brush with the pearl white, so I don't have to go back and clean out brushes. The nice thing about this paint job is if it turns out like dog doo-doo, we can just spray it solid black and either try it again or spray it with something else, do something different. This one is a fairly new piece of sisal wrap. As you can see, it's got a lot more place for the paint to go through, so it's going to leave a little bit less of a texture. It'll leave a little bit more of a texture. And this one is one I use all the time on my crawls, and it's got a bunch of paint on it, so I really got to spray through it a lot. But it leaves a little bit of a different texture. So don't throw your old ones away if you've used them a bunch of times and they get caked up with paint. It kind of gives you a little better texture. Of course, I double them over, but sometimes I'll use them just a single piece. Just depends on what I got going on. But don't throw them away. Because sometimes the more paint they get on them, the better they turn out. Just a little tip for you. I've probably been using this piece since I started painting beads. Alright, get some regular black in there. Blacken these up, and then we'll peel those stencils off. And we'll put the white stencil on the other ones. And we'll see what they look like. Okay, we're going to let these dry for a few minutes. I'm going to hit them with the heat. I'll bring you back. I'm going to go ahead and position my stencils. This guy don't want to stand up. I'm going to go ahead and position my stencils. On the one, I'll wait till I bring you back and peel off the other ones. But we'll see. Once I peel it off, I might bring you back just to show you the sisal wrap. I might have to do a little touch up to that, so I'll bring you back. Okay, got them all dried, and let's do some reveals here. Start off with this one with the thin sisal wrap on it. Ooh, that one's gonna look cool. Is that one? Let's see what the thicker one looks like. That's pretty cool. Looks like the other one. Yep. All right. Let's see. I think this one I'm gonna leave. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel this off, and we'll see what the teeth stencil looks like. Let me bring it up here, guys, just to get started, so I don't scratch my bait up. Okay. I'm hoping it's enough. Oh, yeah. Yeah, dudes, that looks cool. All right, let me get this other side off. I think the red's going to show up on there really good. Yeah, he'll look good with some red and some wicked looking eyes on him. Okay, let's see. Let me put this one over there. Let's peel off this all black and detailed Black Magenta. Oh, yeah, she's gonna like these, I can tell you right now. Kind of went under my stencil a little bit right there, but that's okay. I think what I'm gonna do is, there's just something about all black that just bugs me. So here's what I'm gonna do. Change of plans here. I'm gonna throw a little extra something in here. All right, let's go with something that just always brings the black alive here. We're gonna do a little electric blue and intense violet on all that black, on those black ones. I don't know, okay, we're gonna try some of this. Oh, we got our wig on too much. This stuff is thin, so it sprays out of there pretty hard. I want to kill the black, but I just want to get a little bit of iridescence on it. A little bit of color shifting. Yeah, I like that. All right, this one, I think I'm going to leave this one alone and just see what it turns out like once we get the epoxy on it. All right, let me rinse this stuff out of here. We'll get the white brush out, and we'll put the white on, and we'll go with the red. Bring you back. All right, already went on and put one side on already. So got the stencils in place. We're gonna spray this white on here. because I wanted to kind of see how many layers it was going to take. And it took like three sprays to cover it, because I wasn't spraying it real heavy. So I let it dry and hit this one, and so you make sure your stencil's stuck down still. Once it dries, that black kind of comes through. So I let it dry and kind of air dried a little bit with the brush. Definitely I could see from this point the knocked out stencil, the one where I sprayed over top of the stencil, definitely turned out a little more crisp, but this way's working too. I'm using titanium white. I'll let that dry, hit it one more time, and we'll get the red on it. The red's going to be a little bit of a challenge, just getting it lined up. And the nice thing is, if it doesn't turn out real well, I can go back with a brush, a little fine paintbrush, and put the bloody teeth on there. Alright, I'm going to dry these out and get the red on there. That one hit pretty good. The stencils proved to be a pain to get in place because they're so tiny. It's hard to see the white underneath of them. So I went back on these and touched it up with a brush. And I think it's really going to pop once I get the epoxy on there. I know it's probably hard to see on camera, but it didn't turn out too bad. That one was pretty easy. I mean, well, wasn't, I'm not going to say easy. It was a little lined up better. So I went back with a brush. This one I just did with the brush. So I'll probably touch it just a little bit more. But like I said, I think it'll pop once the epoxy gets on there. You know how epoxy is, it always brings out those colors. So I'm not, it wasn't a total fail, I think. But let me finish these up. And we'll get the eyes on them. The wife's already picked out the eyes she wants, so I'll probably bring you back once I got the eyes on it, and we'll go ahead and epoxy it, and show you how it ended up. Okay, friends, here we are. Here's the finished vampire baits. And, yeah, I'm kind of happy with them. The wife really loved them, so that's all that matters. They were for her. But, glad I put the color shift on there, because, man, it's really coming out in the sun here. I know sometimes it's hard to see the colors when I'm down in the studio because of my lighting, but, that's why I like to bring them outside so you can see what they're going to look like in the sun. And yeah, I'm real happy with them. Trying to hold the camera steady here. They turned out really good. I'm going to say the best probably was the ones where I put the inside of the stencil on there and then sprayed and peeled it off. Those turned out the sharpest. The edges were the cleanest and the sharpest. So yeah, really happy with them. More than I thought when I was inside, because it was hard to see if you was going to be able to see the teeth and the blood. But when I'm out here in the sun and the normal light, it really comes out pretty good. So I hope you can see that on the camera, from the camera view. But yeah, so all right, guys, I appreciate you watching. Appreciate all the subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, and give us a like on this video. Helps us get out there some more. So appreciate everybody, and always remember, till the next one, stay crusty, my friends.